I analyzed 126 Web3 brands last month, and 87% of them are making the same fatal mistakes that's killing their growth. I can tell you exactly why your Web3 brand is failing, and it's not your caption, your edits, or your hashtags. It's because you're rude. You walk into the party of internet and shout, buy my token, and then wonder why everyone leaves the room. You are that guy. But the top Web3 brands, they are not that guy. They are the host of the party. They are the one providing the music, the drinks, the good conversations. And because of that, when they do make an offer, people are happy to listen. And if we haven't met, I'm Excalibur from Fremont, and today I'm breaking down the 4 content layer hierarchy that separates the host from the hecklers. This is the strategy that builds real fans, not just followers. And if you are ready to finally stop being that guy, I have left a link below to get the strategy that actually works.
So in this video, we'll talk about the 4-layer content pyramid, which will not only build you followers, but also build real relationship with your users. Let's start with the funnel. This is a flawed but free one. Right now, what it looks like is you can start in the top it is content and token and API product and buy now. I mean, right now it doesn't have any particular order, and this is an outdated and selfish model. Every piece of content is a direct ask. It's a transaction. It's gross to make and gross to consume. It doesn't build a brand. It burns an audience basically. You need to flip this entire model on its head. Whenever I go to any web3 projects page, whether it is on TikTok or Twitter, although a lot of them doesn't have their TikTok or Instagram, but many of them, which they have on Twitter or Discord, they always shout that buy my token, this will give this sale, this roadmap. I've hardly seen content that will convert them. There are very few brands that are doing that, and they're really getting success in that. So this is a flawed model, and it's like going to a party and shouting buy my token, as I've already explained, and this doesn't work. And this is something that web projects need to learn. So what's the alternative? And you need to stop building a funnel and start building a pyramid, right? A 4-layer content pyramid. It's stable, and it will have a strategic approach to content that build genuine relationship with your audience before you making any. So this is the hierarchy. I'll tell you step by step what is the mirror, what you need to do in those steps. For you, the goal is to move people up in the store. Yeah. But traditionally, 80% of the content is live in bottom 3 layers, and you only earn the right to ask for something in the layer 4, which is the top. After you provide immense value. Okay, so let's break down each layer. So you've heard 80-20 rule, right? 80% is the bottom 3 layers, 20% is the sun. If you go to the social page of Apple, Nike, Red Bull, they don't sell you products there. They sell you experiences. It will hardly mention about their product whenever you go to pay. Right? So you need to understand that, and we need to bring that in with the environment. So let's start at the foundation, that is entertainment, which most with the brand thing is unprofessed. Entertainment is the base layer, that 4-layer content pyramid. Right? So what if we can post any entertainment? You can post anything, like for example, a hilarious meme for an NFT project, a sleek animated short, a trending audio play. It is important to post everything related to your project on. It can be something that is trending at that moment. If you go to Chimpus page, Chimpus official, you can see that they haven't written anything related to their NFTs. Even in the beer story section BTS, they are in the blind box. For example, if you see this video, lower this page. That's it. You don't need to post anything about your project or related to that. And since this is an NFT project, you can also, what they are doing is promoting the mascot. So anything that is trending, kind of meme or animated short, that works. Your goal is to build rapport and get noticed. And everyone would do not ask anything. And what you need to do is, make someone smile, laugh, or go, whoa, how can you build this memes? Behind the scene bloopers, AMA highlights, stunning visuals. This is how you educate your user instead of asking. It is the content that makes people think that this brand's guess it, right? They follow you not for your product, but for your vibe, for your content. This is how you get information into their right? And I already displayed you the example of Chimpus. They're really being very great. Now, once you have that attention with entertainment, now you can earn their trust, which is layer 2. It means building trust. What kind of post you can post here is a carousel post on Instagram where you can say ZK rollup explained in 3 steps, or a TikTok tutorial on how to set up your first wallet. This is how you educate your users that how they can enter into Web3. Like for the first step, you should not direct say that if you can do swap on my website, if you are having a cross-chain swap protocol, we just don't go them and say that do the swapping here, right? Because they don't even have crypto. They don't even have wallet. They have common money in their bank account. How they can transfer from their bank account to crypto and then they need to swap, right? And one of the biggest questions is why they want to swap. So we need to educate users in a systematic way so that they can really understand what exactly is going through them. For example, one of the big problems that I see, like if talking about Chimpus, they didn't post anything related to Web3 crypto, but if we talk about some DeFi brands, right? Okay, so Uniswap. If you go to the Uniswap Instagram page, the largest on-chain marketplace buy and sell crypto on Ethereum and Ethereum. The main problem with that is why do people bother to swap on 13 plus other chains? They don't even know that, right? So we need to make people understand that what is the use case of that product and how they can enter and what do the stuff that is available on the platform. Like this is how you educate. And once you educate any user, it also builds trust. And don't always talk about your product like, you're talking about this feature, that feature. That is called feature dumping. That is not educating. Like, make sure to go with your user on the journey of exploring the crypto ecosystem, right? Because crypto is at a very nascent stage and it is still near to 98% of the internet users say. Yeah. So this is how you educate and build trust. Trust is good, but to create evangelists, you need to go a step further. Empower them. And this is where next layer comes in. Layers. Empowering, creating evangelists. In this, the goal is to give your audience a mega song. So examples of a page showcasing how a community members creates and a video tutorials on how to use the Protopus API for builders. This layer is about making your audience the hero, not your crawler. You showcase their work, you give them tools to build on top of your platform. For example, if you talk about Taito, they can showcase that you can earn money by creating basic content on Twitter or X. They've distributed $100 million in this last 6 months. So this is how you transform from users into community and a community into an army of loyal friends who will market for you for free. You can create basic videos like how to research any DeFi protocol or buy trade plans in any white paper. Remember, giving away insight always builds loyalty and trust, and this will position you as the best, as the top Web3 brand. And after all of that, after you're entertained, educated, and empowered them, you have earned the right to ask. Before that, you can't even ask them because they're for sure not going to reply, buy a product or use the product. Since you have completed all this free and you complete 80% of the work, now you have earned the right to ask, which leads us to the next layer, layer 4, that is converting the ask. Whether it is your NFT project, you're going live, you have the mint or IDO or TGN, whatever it is. Now you can ask. And this layer should be the smallest part of your content. It's the direct ask. But now it doesn't feel like a cold one. It feels like an invitation to a party where they are already enjoying. The conversion isn't the first step. It's the final step in a value generation. And when you have already passed your users from in 3 stages, that user who was earlier a cold client, and now they have become warm, and it is a very high chance that they will use your product or buy something from you. So what we have done here is use the 80 to 20% rule. And the 80% we just give them, give, and then ask the famous quote of Gary V. So this is what a balanced contract mix actually looks like for a Web3 brand. So now we'll go a bit deep on what exactly a balanced contract mix actually looks for a Web3 brand. Here you can see entertaining, educating, empowering. This is where we provide value to them. So this is the 80% of the task, 80% of the content. And in the top, that is converting to 20% of the content. That is where we make an ask, and it is very high chances they will choose the product or buy if they're interested. This is the golden ratio. Everyone posts that asks for something, they should have 4 posts first that give some. This is the strategic secret. This is how you build a brand, not just a balance state. And this strategic approach is exactly why we bake into every client's plan ad stream. So we didn't just make content which you can flex users and get money from VCs. We architect audience and the relationship. We help establishing genuine connection with the audience. Our process starts with a deep audit of your brand to define the perfect content mix for your vertical. We then build a content engine that systematically fills each layer of the pyramid, attracting, trusting, and empowering your future review. And in the end, in the 20% of the content, you can ask for whether it is a DG, IDO, or maybe using a product. So this systematic approach increases your chances very high that user will use a product. And this is how we help brands prepare flaws for. Thanks for watching.
So here's the challenge. Look at your last 10 posts right now. But wait, is your brand account even active on Web2 socials? Probably not, right? Man, you're missing on a lot. And if yes, then check the last 10 projects. How many of them are about your product, your token, your features? If it's more than 2, trust me, you're part of the problem. The brands that break out of crypto tweeters don't do it by talking about themselves more. They do it by earning attention through entertainment, building trust through education, and creating loyalty through empowerment. Only then they do sell. And if you want help flipping your content hierarchy and building an audience that actually convert, that's exactly what we do at Freeman. Book a free strategy session below and let's turn your selfish content into strategic content.